Vietnam is known for having creatures deep in the wilderness that are truly bizarre and dangerous. Don't take my word for it, that's just the reality. And today, I'm out here with one single goal: trek through the jungle, climb the mountain, wade through streams, and track down a wild fire ant colony. Not just any ant. Fire ants, the kind whose sting feels like a burning flame being pressed directly into your skin. And once I find them, I'll put them through a few simple but intense challenges. But before I could even get there, along the way, I ran into things that, I swear, I was completely unprepared for. The journey started at the edge of the forest, climbing up the mountain, then back down to the stream. Sounds simple enough. In reality, it was anything but. Less than 5 minutes after stepping into the forest, I felt something strange on my foot. I looked down. A leech was crawling up my sandal that hadn't been washed in a month. Nice and slow. No rush at all. Like it knew there was nowhere for me to go. In case you didn't know, the jungle leech is basically a cousin of the common leech. The difference being that jungle leeches live on land in rainforests, while regular leeches are found in flooded paddies and waterways. It has no eyes, no ears, yet it can detect the warmth of a human body from a considerable distance using heat sensors on its skin, which means you don't have to touch it. It comes to you. Once it latches onto your skin, it releases a highly potent anticoagulant. The bite looks tiny, but it will bleed continuously for hours, long after the leech has already left. There's no pain when it bites, and that's exactly what makes it terrifying. You don't even know you're being bitten until you see the blood. I didn't touch it. Just watched it crawl for a few seconds, filmed it, then kept moving. And I told myself, this trip is not going to be easy. A little deeper in, I spotted something on a leaf along the trail and came across this. A massive brown stink bug. And honestly, it looked absolutely horrifying. The brown was so deep and rich. It looked like it had been hand-painted. The kind of color that, when you see it in nature, your nervous system immediately starts firing off warnings. This isn't a normal color. This is a warning. And your brain is right. This species of stink bug is one of the largest in the stink bug family across all of Asia. They have scent glands located right on their chest. When threatened, they spray a liquid with an absolutely unbearable odor, the kind of smell that defies description. Something you experience once and never forget for the rest of your life. And it's not just the smell. That liquid can cause chemical burns on direct contact with skin, and if it gets in your eyes, it's extremely dangerous. I kept my hands away, didn't provoke it. Just got the camera close so you could see it clearly. Then left it alone and moved on. Climbing up the mountainside, I spotted something that at first glance looked like a high-speed train moving along the ground. Look closer. A small colony of wild ants, but not your average ants. This colony was moving so fast that I had to play back the footage in slow motion just to believe what I was seeing. They moved in a perfectly straight line. No pushing, no braking formation. Not a single one stopping. Like a miniature high-speed train. Running at full capacity along the ground. No commands being issued. No sound. Not a single one stopping to ask for directions. The entire colony operated as one single organism, with one single mind. Scientists call this phenomenon a superorganism, where a colony of insects needs no central commander, yet still makes optimal decisions as a single unified entity. Watching this ant colony, I genuinely felt a little inferior. I caught myself thinking, am I really less organized than a colony of ants? They don't need meetings. They don't need deadlines. They just move forward, each one doing exactly one thing. While I was busy watching the ants, I nearly stepped right into striking range of this. A red-necked keelback snake, coiled up right in the middle of the trail. The red ring around its neck was unmistakable, a signature marking you simply cannot confuse with anything else. The red-necked keelback isn't an aggressive species. They typically only attack when cornered with no way out. But don't let that make you careless. Their venom causes systemic blood clotting disorders throughout the body, potentially life-threatening if not treated quickly. The snake looked at me for a moment. That kind of look that says, "I see you," then slowly slid into the undergrowth. Unhurried, unbothered. I stood completely still until it was completely out of sight. There's an unspoken rule in Vietnam's wilderness. The most beautiful things out here are usually the most dangerous. This snake was living proof. Continuing deeper into the forest, I spotted something clinging firmly to a wild bamboo shoot. A fully grown coconut rhinoceros beetle. Glossy brown armor, solid, stocky build, gripping that bamboo shoot like it had been bolted on with a screw. This is the adult form of the rhinoceros weevil, whose larvae are the very thing that people in the Mekong Delta eat raw or grilled with dipping sauce. The adult version is a completely different story. Not soft, not fatty. Hard? Very hard. I watched the way it gripped that bamboo shoot. All 4 legs locked tight. No sign it was going to let go anytime soon. And I started thinking about a challenge. I didn't say it out loud at that moment, but the plan was already forming in my head. I caught it and kept walking toward what I came here to find. And then, after an entire morning of hiking, climbing, wading through muddy stream banks, I found it. Right beside the stream bank, beneath a large tree root, a wild fire ant colony. The nest wasn't as large as what you see in documentaries, but the activity, there are no words for it. Fire ants are globally infamous for one very simple reason. They don't sting just once. They latch onto skin with their mandibles to anchor themselves, then use the stinger on their abdomen to sting repeatedly, each time injecting a small dose of acid-laced venom. Once enough stings accumulate, the feeling is like fire being held directly against your skin. That's why they're called fire ants. Not because of their color, but because of what it feels like to be stung by them. I stood about 1 meter from the nest. Didn't get any closer. Didn't reach my hand in. Just filmed and observed. And honestly, that alone was already impressive enough. It took every bit of nerve I had to bring the colony back home. The first thing I did after bringing them home, let them settle. I added sugar water into the container. This is an important step. After being relocated, fire ants get stressed, more agitated and aggressive than usual. Sugar water gives them a quick energy boost, helping the whole colony calm down before any challenges begin. Watching them swarm around and drink, there was something both adorable and terrifying about it, like an army being fueled up before going to battle. Once the colony had settled, I started the real challenges. Challenge 1, a mole cricket. In case you didn't know, mole crickets are among the strongest insects in the world, relative to their body size. Their front legs are thick and hardened, designed to dig through compacted soil, tree roots, and gravel. Not an easy opponent. I dropped it in. The tension started immediately. The fire ants identified the threat. In under a second, swarming it, gripping tight, refusing to let go, I managed to capture the moment a fire ant's mandibles were clamped firmly onto the mole cricket's body, clear enough to make you shudder. The mole cricket thrashed violently, trying to escape. But once fire ants latch on, letting go is simply not in their nature. The more it struggled, the more stings it received. In the end, the mole cricket was defeated by the collective strength of these hot-tempered little fighters. Round 1, fire ants win. Next challenge, a common field cricket. This one looked absolutely built for battle, folks. The ants gave chase, biting and holding, but the cricket still managed to jump, dragging the entire swarm of ants clinging to its body. The ants couldn't take it down right away, so I decided to just leave them to it and went to cook some rice. About 3 hours later, I came back. The cricket was dead and desiccated. No large wounds, no torn limbs. Just lying there, dried out and gone. This is how fire ants operate. They don't need to bring down prey immediately. Dozens of small stings accumulate. The acid seeps slowly into the prey's body, cell by cell. The cricket didn't die from one decisive blow. It died because it simply couldn't take any more. The fire ants didn't need to rush. They just needed patience. And now, The final challenge. The one I'd been thinking about since I spotted that beetle out in the forest. I dropped in 3 fully grown coconut rhinoceros beetles. 3 big, shiny black guys. Big, dark, and stinking. That's how I describe these 3 compared to the ants. They looked like the dark heroes from One Punch Man. The insect version. Stepping into the arena. I named the star of this round, the big, shiny black guy. The fire ants launched in immediately. Aggressive, relentless, zero hesitation. But this time, it made absolutely no difference. You could practically sense how unbothered all 3 of them were. The thick armor of a fully grown rhinoceros beetle is completely impenetrable to fire ant mandibles. The ants climbed on, bit, stung. The beetles just kept walking around. Like absolutely nothing was happening. Like a security guard in full body armor. Going about his patrol while getting pelted with pebbles, the fire ants took down the mole cricket. They took down the field cricket. But against these 3 shiny tanks, they were completely helpless. Like a husband in a Japanese drama. That natural armor is exactly why the rhinoceros beetle has survived to this day. In the end, I released everything back into nature. The 3 shiny boys, the fire ant colony. I returned all of them to their natural environment. That's a principle I hold to. Observe, challenge, film, and release. Though of course, some of our little friends didn't make it. Farewell to these fierce, hot-headed little creatures. Jungle leeches, giant stink bugs, a high-speed ant colony, a red-necked keelback, 3 big shiny beetles, and 1 wild fire ant colony. Put through 3 hunting challenges. Vietnam is never short of strange creatures. We just rarely bother to go looking for them. If you want to see part 2, make sure to subscribe. Next time I'll go farther, deeper. And I can guarantee we'll encounter something even wilder than today.